But now let's move on and talk about Tottenham taking on Leicester. It's another one of the brilliant games in the Premier League this weekend. Let's hear from the Tottenham boss now.
I know how good he is. When I met him as a young coach in the academy and coming to join us in the first team and sharing with us many moments, I understood that he was a young guy with a great future, so anything that he's doing in his career is not a surprise for me.
Well, we've heard from Jose Mourinho there. Now it's time to hear from you guys at home, as Tottenham against Leicester is the topic for this week's Friday Fan Forum, with Robbie and the guys ready to answer your questions. So don't forget to use the hashtag PLFans to get in touch with us and send in all your questions and videos for our expert panel. Our first one today comes from Darren from South Africa, who's a Tottenham fan.
The question that I think one needs to consider is what formation will both teams play, given that both teams are counter-attacking teams. And from Tottenham's perspective, I think that Tottenham need to score first and then make it incredibly difficult for Leicester to break Tottenham down.
Good to hear from Darren.
Dazzler from Fanzone.
Yeah,
Dazzler, Miss Dazzler. It's going to be a good game. We know Leicester away from home. You know, he's gone against Bielsa, scored 4 at Ellen Road. Etihad scored 5, went to Arsenal, won against Arteta. So Brendan Rodgers will have a game plan perfectly worked out, I think, at, you know, the Tottenham Stadium for the counter-attack. So what will Jose do then? It's a good question from Dan, isn't it?
Well, yeah, because, like you say, both probably perform best when they drop off and let the other team have the ball. But, you know, if they both do that, it'd be a pretty boring football match, right?
Let's not hope for that.
Yeah, let's hope they don't do that. So, no, I think, like I say, I think someone's going to come up with something where, you know, they're going to, maybe Tottenham are going to come up with something where they surprise us, maybe have somebody else that can, you know, strike the attacks rather than sitting back and just, you know, rather than watching the Kane and Son show. So maybe it's a different personnel.
Bergwijn was really good the other night, though, wasn't he? Missed a couple of really good chances against Liverpool. Could he be the answer in this game? Someone a bit different, as Glenn's just saying there, as opposed to just Kane and Son being the focus.
Yeah, I mean, it would be interesting if Jose plays with wingers. He hasn't really done that because it's more of a 4-4-1-1 with two strikers who don't have a lot to work when it comes to really dropping. They're always a little bit ahead of everyone else. I don't know if he trusts someone like Bergwijn to play as a winger in this game, if he thinks he's getting enough defensive mileage out of him. But I wouldn't be surprised if we see Spurs actually being quite attacking, with Reguilón coming back in the starting 11 and trying to get that first goal and then drop off and play on the break. I think that is how, if you think back to the classic Chelsea teams of Jose, that's how they would play. They would score first, then shut up shop, then maybe hit you on the break, 2-0, job done. I think that's going to be the idea.
I think a key play in this game is talking about how important now somebody between the lines is in the final third. I think Maddison, who hasn't been quite back to his best, I know he scored a couple of great goals against Brighton, didn't he? Did. That play between, sorry, Jules, that play between the lines could be important in a game like this. Because Spurs haven't got one. I know Kane drops in there, but you would say he's number 9. Maddison could be key.
Yeah, he's obviously a fantastic player, and like you say, if he gets space between the lines, he can hurt anyone.
But will there be space?
That's exactly what I was about to say. Will there be space? Because, you know, they retreat so quick. They all occupy the spaces, you know, with Holberg and Sissoko. So there's not going to be that much room. You know, so maybe he's going to have to drop even deeper, you know, and let some longer shots go or whatever. But there's certainly the spaces will be reduced, that's for sure.
OK, let's talk more about Leicester now. Next, we're going to Thailand to hear from Clive, a Leicester fan, who wants to talk about the men in the dugout.
Hi guys, well, another weekend of Premier League football is just around the corner again, and as I'm in Premier League manager style dress, I thought I'd ask you, Robbie, who do you think is the better manager? Brendan Rodgers with his attacking, front-footed mind of football, or Jose Mourinho with his more intrepid park the bus routine?
It does look a bit like he's in a manager's office there.
It's a good question. So 2 years ago, when Jose took Manchester United to Anfield, Liverpool won the game 3-1, didn't they? And I think not long after Jose left Manchester United. And then to turn up at Anfield, top of the league with Spurs, 2 years later, when people said, that's it for Jose, he's not going to manage a big club once again. For him to come back and do what he's done, rebuild that squad. I know he's still got 5 Champions League finalists in the team, but he's got rid of some of them. He's rebuilt. But then you got Brendan Rodgers. Tactically, I think Brendan Rodgers can manage a massive football club once again, whether in the Premier League or in Europe. To answer the question, who are they? Listen, if you go on history, Jose Mourinho's trophies, we know that. But right now, if I was to play for one manager, who would I like to play for? That is a big question. I'm thinking...
The one that likes you more.
Yeah, the one who pays me the most. It's a real good question, because when you look at Harry Kane, some people said Harry Kane wouldn't score goals under Jose Mourinho. He's not only scoring goals, he's creating goals as well. To answer the question, I would say, who would I like to play for right now? I would say Brendan Rodgers.
All right, Glenn,
but Jose is a better manager.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How can you compare them? It's so hard, isn't it? They're both brilliant.
You know what? The thing is, I've actually worked with both of them.
Oh.
And, you know, Brendan is literally a carbon copy of Mourinho.
Really?
The days that Mourinho was talking about there with Brendan coming through, I was in those training sessions when Brendan was there watching. He was literally, you know, taking everything down. You know, every day he was just soaking up all the knowledge from Mourinho. And obviously, working with him at Liverpool, the sessions were the same. Obviously, for me, he's just a younger version. You know, he's got fantastic energy. As young guys coming through, I think right now you do want to play for Brendan, because he will have his way of playing, and he doesn't mind if you make a mistake as long as you stick to the game plan. And, you know, as a young kid coming through, that's what you want to hear. You know, you don't want to go into games worried about making mistakes. He's almost like, look, do it the right way and you'll make less mistakes anyway. And he has his arm around people. And like I say, I think he is a carbon copy of Mourinho.
So just ignore my answer there.
Should have asked me first.
I should have done. Rafa, from a journalistic perspective, covering matches that both of these guys have managed and teams they've managed over the years, both fantastic managers. How can you compare them?
I mean, you can compare them, but of course one is Jose Mourinho and the other one isn't.
Yeah.
And that still makes a huge difference. Mourinho has won the trophies, he's been at the biggest clubs in the world, and Brendan Rodgers is still an up-and-coming manager looking for the next job. I think he's not going to maybe fulfill all his ambitions at Leicester. He's at Leicester now to see if he can, you know, put himself in a conversation that whenever the next top 6 or top 4 job will become available, that people will think about him. So he's still got a fair bit to go before I think he can be considered Mourinho's equal. But what's interesting, I think, is that I think Rodgers is a lot more varied in his approach. You know, if you even think about Liverpool time, one year they were counter-attacking, one year they were trying to be more possession-based. Leicester have become more multi-dimensional since he's there. They can play in different ways. I think with Mourinho, you still know what his preferred way of playing is. And I think right now the players really buy into it because he's winning and he's putting Spurs at a level where they haven't been since the early Pochettino years, really right in the title race. And as long as that happens, players will love him.
Yeah.
The question is, what happens if it doesn't? Will you be, as a Harry Kane and Son, saying, OK, we're playing without the ball again for 70% of the game and we're not winning? That's when it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, they need to get the results, don't they? What do you think the result's going to be in this one? I'm going to put you both on the spot.
You go first.
Oh, I was literally about to say that. I'm going to go 2-1 Leicester.
Ooh, an away victory. Rafa, what do you think?
I think Spurs are just going to edge it 1-0.
OK, nice. I'm glad you didn't say draw this time.